Hey, how's it going? We're here in the Lifetime Lab in Cork City, the Waterworks, in advance of Cork Science Week. And I'm joined here by Emer Ferguson. Welcome, Emer. Thanks a million for coming to talk to us.
Not a bother.
Now, you're here in advance of the Cork Science Festival as part of Cork Science Week.
Absolutely.
And you work as the education liaisons. Tell me your proper title.
Yeah, so I'm actually part of the APC Microbiome Institute. So we're a research centre here in Cork. And basically we're contributing to this massive big effort here by Cork Science Festival to bring all these centres together and I suppose make a big effort and a big impact on the public here in Cork City in terms of science.
Let me take you back a bit there now. You said Microbiome Institute. What does biome mean?
So biome is, I suppose, is another word for kind of habitat or a place where something might live. So we're specifically talking about the microbiome. So this is the very small world that actually is inside our body. So we're talking about microbes. These are small little bacteria, viruses, lots of different microorganisms that live inside our body.
Yeah. But can we introduce the little fluffy friend that you
Yes,
have?
this is my little friend here. This is Biff. Or
G.I.
sometimes
Jake.
G.I. Jake, okay? He's pretty cool. And he's a bit like a little army man, actually, because he does great work down in your intestines. So he's actually one of the good bacteria. So you've probably heard of good bacteria, bad bacteria. So we are trying to, I suppose, encourage good bacterial growth in your microbiome. So in that lovely environment that's deep down in your body. These are different things like exercise has been shown to influence it, diet has been shown. So lots of different ways that we're trying to influence and make more of this wonderful kind of thing that's living inside us. Yeah.
And you have a great demonstration for us that she's going to be doing. Emer's going to be doing this during Science Week as well. And you also visit schools and you bring this fantastic model, Bobby.
Yes, this is Bobby. Yes, Bobby is a little bit camera shy, so you don't be afraid he might be a bit
Smile
quiet
for the
now today.
camera.
I know, smile. And your Biff is happy enough now living. But this is just one of the experiments that we're going to be doing through a couple of the different things during the festival. So we have two wonderful family fun days, this Sunday the 12th of November and then this following Sunday the 19th. So one is going to be right down the road here, Western Gateway building in UCC, and then the following weekend in Neptune Stadium right in the community. So it'll be a brilliant opportunity for people to come along and have a bit of fun with science.
Exactly.
So this experiment is a bit of the ick factor now, I hope you don't mind.
I'm very excited about this. When you told me it was a bit disgusting, I was like, let's do it.
Definitely.
Go on,
So
let's go.
poor old Bob here has kindly donated his alimentary canal, or in other words, his digestive system. So we're going to pretend now we've ripped that out, we've pulled him out by the tongue, and we've got his digestive system. So this bag here represents the digestive system, okay? So the first thing we do is we put food into our mouth. So again, we've got this lovely, and you might give me a hand, Fiona, actually just giving a mush there.
Right.
So our teeth have a very important role in mashing our food
Got
up.
banana and all bran, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So a bit of banana, and this is something that parents and teachers can do very easily in the classroom as well. It's a lovely, real accessible experiment. So we're mushing, but things are a bit dry here. There's not a whole lot going on, so we need to add something. Can you remember what it's called?
Oh, in
What's
your
inside
mouth?
our mouth?
Saliva.
Saliva. So saliva is that ooey gooey thing that we actually produce lots and lots of every day, every year. So this is our saliva going in. So we're adding that in. So it's going to help with kind of wetting the food, getting that nice and moist so that it's easier to swallow. There'd be nothing worse than if we had no saliva.
So this is what it looks like, basically mulched up in your mouth.
Absolutely.
Seafood.
Yeah, seafood, exactly, yeah. Seafood and eat it. So it's a lovely mixture, it's lovely and mushy. The saliva is helping to start digestion. It's why you might have heard mom, dad, people at home kind of saying, chew your food. It's really important we don't just swallow our food down whole, because we're starting digestion. The enzymes, so these little chemicals that are actually helping to digest the food, are in our mouth. So things like salivary amylase is the fancy word for these enzymes. So that's starting the process. So then what happens then is we swallow the food down the throat, and that's a very funky kind of process called peristalsis, and this is almost like an earthworm, and it's kind of squishing it down, but we don't have to think about it, it just happens. So then it hits the stomach. So the stomach has acid in it, okay? So the acid is going to hit the contents, and you might notice we have a few bubbles forming here, okay? So this is kind of to demonstrate, I know it's getting a bit gross. So this is to demonstrate the chemical reaction.
Generally comes up after.
Oh yeah,
you have
after
a bad turn.
You never know.
Bad pint.
This is starting to look a little bit familiar. No. So this here is kind of a mechanical and a chemical process. So the bubbles are starting to form here, and we know that the food is starting to break down a little bit more with that acid. So then we have what are called enzymes.
What's
again,
actually in that liquid?
so that is, I know, that's my secret ingredient. So that's actually vinegar. So vinegar and bread soda we'll call bubbles. You might have done like volcanoes and all that kind of stuff when you were younger, but that's the same thing. So it's vinegar.
I can
so
actually
it's
get the
smell.
smell.
Yeah. Fish and chips. So this is here bubbling away, chemically breaking down the food into really itty bitty pieces, so that these microbes, these little guys that are living down there, can actually eat them, okay, and actually thrive on those. So next we have enzymes, okay. So this is our next little potion that goes in. So this is going to to give it a little bit of a red colour. In real life, it's probably not red, but we just thought it might look a bit funky to add some red in there. So enzymes are going to help again to break down. So all the time, our stomach is mashing and moving around all the contents. You might have even heard a rumbly tummy the odd time when you were really hungry, trying to get that process started. The next thing now, so the food has gone into your stomach, it's starting to go down into the intestines, and the next thing is bile, okay? So bile is kind of, you might have heard of bile. Bile is kind of what we call an emulsifier. So this breaks down fats in your diet and actually helps for you to digest all the fats. So this here actually is a little bit of fairy liquid, because fairy liquid is an emulsifier as well, so it breaks down the fats. That's why when you go to wash your dishes, if you put in fairy liquid, it'll break up all the surface tension, breaks up all the fats, so you can actually wash them. Okay, so it's kind of a bit gross to think that's happening inside us, but it's very true.
Such a shame that you can't smell this.
I know, the vinegar. So the next thing then, the next thing we have is our microbes themselves. So they tend to live down really deep inside our intestines. So this is kind of the small and large intestines, and the small one are here and the large one here. So we're going to add them in because they're important too.
And which part is this where the friendly bacteria are?
Exactly, they tend to live there because the acid in the stomach would probably kill a lot of those guys. They wouldn't be able to live in the stomach. Some of them do, but a lot of them, it's actually the intestines, the lower part that they live.
In the small intestine.
Small and large intestine. Yeah, so both of those. So those guys go in. Again, they're a little bit of a red colour. Okay. Now, so finally, the food has gotten all the way down to around here, okay? So it's in the small intestine and it's about to go into the large intestine. And the purpose of the large intestine, you might be thinking, if you were to get to the toilet and your food looked a bit like this, it might not look the most pleasant coming out. So it's very important that the next bit...
Does it ever look pleasant coming out?
That's true, that's true. So the next bit is actually, we don't have cotton wool in our bodies, but we do have these to demonstrate. The large intestine soaks up a lot of the liquid that's in our food, okay? So this is the point at which it's going to soak up all that. Sorry, this is getting really gross actually. Okay, so it's going to soak up.
Like, not to get technical, but like poo isn't liquidy in
no,
general.
It's true. Okay, so it's going to soak up a lot of this liquid here.
To say it as it is, like.
It is, it's true, totally true. So now we've gotten to the really gross bit, Fiona.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where we've got to get our fake toilet. Okay, so our toilet has come in here. It's really just a container.
This is the best experiment I've ever taken part in.
You better make sure that we've got it all into one corner.
Can I just ask you a question though, just on that subject? Like, when somebody has diarrhea, does that mean that they're not soaking up the liquid properly?
Things like diarrhea, vomiting, these are ways for the body to get rid of that food as quickly as possible because there's something either that is contained within the food that shouldn't be there. So if you think about it, your body is really efficient, so it's either trying to get rid of it this way or the other way. So it bypasses that whole absorption and just says, right, straight to the loo.
Straight out, yeah.
Straight out. If you think about it, the body, it's not going to keep something that shouldn't be in there inside it, so it definitely has clever ways. So we're going to just get all of this into one corner.
It really looks
There's great old giggles really going on here. This is definitely not for the faint of heart, okay? Yeah. And so we're going to get it down into the corner. This is the poo bit.
Can we get a close-up?
I know, And then we're going to...
Here we go. Here, hang on a minute. Are we ready?
So we're
1, 2, 3, go.
Oh.
There we go.
This is totally gross, but totally realistic. Totally gross. If you want, I'll kindly take that off you there.
That is the best experiment that I've ever taken part in.
So there we are, our journey down through the intestines, and we ended with a bang.
So where are you now next week for Science Week so people can experience this experiment and much more in real life?
So this is one of lots and lots of experiments. So I work with colleagues in a number of the other research centres. So we're funded by Science Foundation Ireland. We've got colleagues in Mary, so this is the Marine Institute down in Ringaskiddy. We have colleagues in Infant, which is the Neonatal Abnormalities Research Centre in the Cork University Hospital. We have colleagues obviously in the APC, so lots. This is a really massive effort. Our colleagues here in the Lifetime Lab, Mervyn, is doing great work in actually coordinating all of this because there's a lot of people, a lot of researchers, a lot of scientists trying to, I suppose, get across their research because we all love our research. We want to push our research forward. So we're all coming together for Cork Science Festival. So this has lots and lots of events going on.
And give me a couple of examples of the schools you're going to next week.
So the schools will be, oh my God, will be every city, county within Cork. Okay, so we're going to be out as far as Fermoy, I know. Not that far, but out the road. We're going to be out in Fermoy in Gaelscoil de Heatha. We're going to be locally then St. Patrick's School there in Gardeners Hill. And loads more. To be honest, lots of schools have been kind of vying into this and they've been applying for us to come out, because we do this throughout the year as well. A lot of the research centres, we actually go out to schools doing school visits, so it's one of the kind of mainstay of my job is actually going out and interacting with students, encouraging them not only just into our research but actually in science in general, because science is actually really cool. So science is all about, I suppose, having that critical thinking, so actually approaching a problem and kind of brainstorming and kind of figuring it out.
And that's what Science Week is all about, really. It's, you know, it's about showing young people, especially, I suppose, about, you know, like that there is an amazing career.
Absolutely. On their
if you're willing
doorstep
to
here
go
in
down.
Cork,
Yeah.
it's wonderful to think that we have so many research centres, again, funded by Science Foundation Ireland, just here, UCC, CIT, all on our doorstep in Cork. So we're really lucky in Cork actually to have access to all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if there's schools that would like to have you visit, but they haven't been in touch, how do they get in touch with you?
Definitely, really, really importantly, log on to corksciencefestival.ie and check it out. There's a full timetable there of schools interactions, primary and secondary school, but also the after hours events as well. They're really cool. So we've got, these are more for the adults. So these are things like cocktail alchemy, so all about the science of cocktails, the science of scents, so how you taste, how you smell, all these different things. And also things like, we've got a cinema night up in St. Luke's, so that's actually the Matrix, so that'll be a bit nostalgic for a few people as well to think back to the Matrix, but also the science behind it, kind of all this idea of kind of maths and numbers and parallel universes. It'll be really cool.
Exactly. Emer, thank you so much for
well,
coming.
thank
It was
you.
absolutely lovely to meet you, and that was the best experiment
Good.
ever.
I'm glad. So come along, find out more. Definitely loads more experiments to be had.
Great. Thanks a million.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks.
All right.